Hey guys, this is day 2 of the character. I've been playing for 1 day and pretty much 2 hours. I've been playing most of the time, not AFK very much. In this video I'll be talking when to switch to cast on crit, because I made the switch today. The gear choices, the equipments, what to buy, what to look for, and the gem links, and then the Flask choices. And then I'll go over the skill tree, including when to switch, what to pick first, what's good, and then I'll do a brief map about maybe 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes. So first off, I made a switch today, and basically what you really need is these 4 links right here: Cyclone, Cast on Crit, Discharge. Those are absolutely mandatory. And then the increased crit strikes is like the best because it adds base crit strike chance. Later on, if you can get lucky with the 5 link, you can add Blade Vortex if you can get lucky with the green roll, or you can do Life Leech. And what you do is you run a Blasphemy with a Warlord's Mark, because that needs a Leech in order for your character to survive most of the situations. And when you do that, you just need to be careful when you map not to kill yourself on curse immune maps and stuff like that. So those are the 4 mandatory links. I was running this most of the day. And I just recently got a 5 link at the end of the day. And the bandits I took were point, attack speed, and endurance charge. The endurance charge is actually a mistake because I don't think I'll be getting the voll devotion for quite a long time. So if you're choosing the bandits on merciless, you should probably choose the power charge, unless you have a voll's devotion pre-prepared. And the reason you want endurance when you have devotion is to even out the charges, so you don't lose anything when you discharge with the power charge. That's the bandits, and that's when you make the switch. And pretty much when you make the switch, you need to start shopping for an hour or 2 for gears. For example, I have some near 300 energy shield helm with some resist. This is some 300 energy shield. The price is really hard to say, especially at different times of the league. In the beginning of the league, these might be a lot more expensive, but later on they'll get really cheap. And you also need a minimum of Voll's Protector and a 4 link. That's absolute minimum, and the rest is just shopping for ES gear. As you can see, I have some energy shield and boots, 139, not very much, and some garbage other pieces of gear. Just some ES and energy shield. You want some diamond rings to cap out your crit or to get as high as possible. It's not really that important though. Same thing with this one, it's just some ES and energy shield diamond ring, and the amulet, just some amulet with multi-res and energy shield. It also has added cold. You need added cold somewhere when you pick up elemental equilibrium. So when you make the switch, the important part is you get the Voll's Protector and a 4 link, and you pick up some specific nodes on the skill tree. I would recommend you don't even go in the Templar area for a long time. Don't spec into here. It's not worth it. Just spec into pure damage instead over here, or even more energy shield and damage over here. But basically you need elemental equilibrium, and you need to wanna hit all these dagger nodes. These 4 dagger nodes, and these energy shield nodes and crit nodes over here. And then you also need to hit Ghost Reaver and Voll Pact for Warlord's Mark. That's pretty much when you make the switch. I switched at level 70. You can switch much earlier if you have the gears, but this is the beginning of the league, so things are different. It's hard to say. If you have a lot of gear, you can make the switch immediately at 38, but those are just the minimum requirements. Most of the day I was running around with 5,500 energy shield, and that's what you should be expecting. I'll do a detailed explanation probably in the following days when I end up shopping for gear, because right now it's pretty much just a gear game from here on out. So the following videos will probably be more detailed on how to shop for gear, what to look out for, and what the price of those are. Yeah, so I'm using Facebreaker also. It's probably a really great glove until you get some huge energy shield gloves. It's got 90 multiplier, which is a lot for 1 chaos, and corrupting these with elemental weakness on hit isn't a bad idea, but that comes later. So, oh, you also need a vagan dagger. I get this question a lot. What do I do with my dagger? You just basically need something with crit crafted, and that's pretty much it. You don't really need anything special. It doesn't matter really what you get, just as long as it's not that gutting knife, and preferably you want something with 1.4 attack speed or higher. Besides that, it's not that big of a deal. And the things you craft in order of importance, is crit strike chance is most important because it modifies the base crit, and then second most important is attack speed, and then third is like spell damage. So that's pretty much it for the gear over here, and my links are, I showed you Cyclone, cast on crit, increase crit strike and discharge. I'll be running a map with the 4 link to show you what I've been doing most of the day, and the rest of it is just discharges. Everything else is just discharges I'm leveling. This is because I'm going to reach a 2020 eventually, and you need a Whirling Blades with faster attacks and Fortify, and Blasphemy, Warlord's Mark, and a Discipline. Later on I'll be running a Purity of Lightning when I get Enlightened, but for now it's just those 2 auras, Warlord's Mark and Discipline, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is discharges, so you don't really need much to start it off. Oh yeah, the most important thing is Flask. They added a lot more Flask, so things get really interesting. For example, I think these are really powerful. The diamond and the stibnit. The diamond is really powerful because both of them are really powerful because they consume very few charges. The diamond is 20 out of 40 charges, which is very, very low. The old diamond was like 80 charges or something, and you can roll stuff like increased duration, reduced flash charge use, which is very good. You can basically keep the diamond up permanently, which what it does is it rolls your crit twice and it takes the higher value. So if you don't crit both of them, then that will be the only time it will not critical. So it makes your 70 critical chance instead a 91 critical strike chance, which is very, very high. My critical strike chance, let me show you my stats right now, is 55 in town, and discharge multi is 432. I have some like decent 3 modules that I bought for like 2C. So if you're like, the other thing you want to gear is you just want to buy some like multiplier jewel with area damage or attack speed, some sort of damage and attack speed jewel is totally fine. I'll go into more detail in later videos when I start like min-maxing this stuff, but these are all like garbage 3 modules. They're like fairly cheap. Briefly mention that. Then the other flask that I think is really powerful is create a smoke cloud flask, the Stibnit. This is really strong because it drops a smoke cloud, which blinds the enemies, and it makes you like it makes them miss 50% of the time, something crazy like that. And it's a very strong mitigation flask, especially for melee, and it also has like very, very few flask usage. If you're doing like Izaro in the Labyrinth, just pop one of these, it'll help a lot, because he'll start missing like crazy, and makes your life a lot easier. The rest of them are just like Quicksilver and Granite and Topaz for reflects and basic physical damage, stuff like that. The last thing I would mention is what to do on Trickster. You get Walk the Ether, obviously, for the movement speed, no mana cost on Cyclone and Whirling Blades, and then you just path into attack speed ES, Ghost Dance over here, and the 250 ES later. I did this really late, and it was kind of hard, but I had a 5 link, so it made it a lot easier than I expected. But it was still a little scary, but the Stibnit really carried me. So that's pretty much what you do with Trickster. I'll just show you the guys' map now. Most of the day I was running around with 5500 ES. I expect into more stuff at the end of the day. I don't typically run 75s up to this point. I'm 84, I guess I should say. 1 day, 2 hours. So most of the day I was running around with a 4 link, and it's like alright. The diamond makes it like very, very consistent critting, because let me show you. If I have 4 power charges up, the crit strike chance of Cyclone is 74.84, and that's a 75 crit chance basically. So the chance of not critting would be 25% squared, which is 1/16. So that's pretty good crit chance. Oh, I guess I should like comment on how to play and what to watch out for. So when you're playing the game like this, what you don't want to do is you don't want to click like really far away, because as you can see, I can't cancel that. I'm like committed to this whole thing. And this one turned out okay because I criticaled. But for example, if you click really far away and you don't critical, the whole cyclone is not going to be your critical. And that's really problematic if you're running with really low move speed and you don't critical the whole thing. You're putting yourself in danger, especially in big packs. So when you're playing the game, if you look at my mouse cursor, I'm always clicking really close to my character, and that's because I want to cyclone really quickly. So the cyclones that don't critical, I pass through really fast and I don't stay on them for a long time. And that's like the most important tip for cast on crit with cyclone, and everything else is like not really that important. But the other thing is the diamond flask really makes you crit a lot. It has two uses. One is you're just doing more damage, and the other use is that you refill your flask with 20% chance to gain flask effect really fast. So especially on bosses, you pop your diamond and your flask fill like crazy. So those are like really important things to consider and to really put on your character. But yeah, you can like pretty much spam the Stibnit. Like things can't like hit me at all. It's like so much mitigation. Typically those things just melt you, especially when you have like absolutely no mitigation on your character whatsoever. But yeah, I'll just show you this one map, otherwise this video is going to be too long. Yeah, in the future videos I'll detail more about the how to shop and things, but for now the character should look something like this. I guess I should mention, when I first switched over to the character, my discharge was level 17, and the average damage with 4 charges was around like 7.3k. So I was nearing around like 2k damage per discharge charge, and that was without face breakers. But now I'm like averaging 13.9 for 4 charges. So, and I'm level 19 discharge. So if you just switch over and you don't have face breakers, and you have like a 7k average discharge with 4 power charges, or like around 2k damage per power charge, don't be like too concerned. You just gotta level up your gems and stuff like that, and it'll be totally okay. But yeah, that was with the 4 link, by the way, so that's like minimum requirements to switch. You'll have lower ES too, but it's not that big of a deal. And that's where this character is at right now. 1 day, 2 hours. That's pretty much it. See you tomorrow.